Hi, I'm so glad to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for such an important episode as you continue to learn how to develop emotional agility as we practice self soothing together today. I'm so glad when I get to do a practice exercise series with you where I get to actually take you through something I'm working on with my E&M classes and my collective and just everywhere else that I teach on a face to face or Zoom level. We usually incorporate some sort of pausing and breath work and practice in order to handle our emotions and the life work we're doing. So I am so glad that every once in a while we get to do this on the pod too, to just give you all a chance to join me for something that can be healing right in the middle of perhaps a really hard emotion that's come up for you. Maybe you don't like emotions. And so this exercise will help you to feel like you can more bravely confront the emotions you need to, because now you have this practice to accompany you for self soothing. Whatever you would like to use it for, I invite you into that today. The world is a little bit crazy right now. We have an Instagram series on the same thing. If you're looking for even more detail type by type, right now we have a series for finding your feelings and then also what to do when you need to actually express them together. So, type by type, that's also important. But today, we're looking at this through the lens of everybody because I want everyone to have a chance to do this self soothing practice with me. I've incorporated and integrated many different approaches that I find work to relax and to draw us all into more self soothing on a regular basis. And today we're sharing them. It was also brought to me in this beautiful, you don't have to be a person of faith to see this, but, or to hear it rather, if you're not watching on YouTube, most of you are not. But my friend Bina sent me a great reminder. We were passing back and forth some encouraging messages to each other. And she happened to send me Psalm 131, and I had to re record this episode. And so I'm glad because then I'm able to share this beautiful part of that scripture with you. And it says, but I have calmed and quieted myself. And I was just so happy. There's another analogy like a weaned child. I'm content. And for those who nurse children or have nieces or nephews, and you saw this thing, you can even think of the kids that are like milk drunk and how it's just this satiated response when we just feel so secure. And I love how that was sent to me right in the Psalms. I'm not proud, God. I just need these techniques to walk through my emotion because, yes, I want to have compassion. I want to be regulated, but I don't always have that. And I was in recently a teletherapist network meeting where they were doing a survey also, and it was like 60 some percent of the therapists were reporting this is the hardest piece, is to work through how to become emotionally agile even after we've named our emotions. But how do we flex, right? So we're going to get that today, and a couple of things going on in the world right now. If you're looking back on this episode, hopefully it's one that you can listen to for the ages. Is right now the world, I'm noticing just today, is up in arms over Taylor Swift and the Chiefs, and how apparently this is just shaping football and it's getting political. And so, whether you're just paying attention to that or you have something far more urgent going on, maybe you're the part of the Detroit fans. I know my extended family was very sad Detroit Lions lost, but many of us have even way bigger fish to fry out there. So, whether it's your marriage, your family, something big in your health, I'm thinking of you and hoping that you can find your way back to wellness here. Before we get started, I just want to make a couple of announcements. I want to thank a few of the people who had me on for their podcast recently, the Make Life Matter podcast with Angela Donaldio, the Open Door Sisterhood podcast, the Mercy Cast with Raleigh Sadler, Makers and the Mystics podcast, and Jackie Brewster Enneagram with JB. So thank you. I wish I was doing it all this year. I can't do my Glow Gala and all the pod tours and the book well. So I'm doing book stuff this year, and it's been such a joy, such a delight. I'm also teaching courses. So don't forget to join us for the ongoing Enneagram and Marriage course or our master class where you can become a coach or just join as somebody who wants to learn more on a deep dive level about the Enneagram and marriage. I am taking you through 2 hours every Thursday. You can join me live for practices together, for conversations, for encouragements, and lots of training. So we'll be approaching head, heart, and body, integrating the best of marriage and relationship training with the best of Enneagram. So I'm really excited for that. And this new iteration is we build upon everything with Spiral Education. So make sure you check the show notes for that. Make sure you're up to date with all the other great things we have going on, like Amy Wick's Leadership Conference. I know several of you approached me about that. So I'm excited for that. And these things are evergreen so that you can come back to them, even if this is an episode you're listening to later. And if you like it, make sure you also go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review so that more people can find it and get regulated, because we want everyone in our world to be regulated, right? So, all right, we'll get comfortable as we're starting out together today. Find a place in your home. Grab a glass of water if you have a moment, but a place even in your car, or pull off on the side of the road in a safe place and allow yourself some space and time to just ask yourself how you can get more comfortable. So that's where I want to start you off with. You might even want to light a candle. You might want to set some noise. We have the bright noise, the dark noise options if you upper right swipe down on your iPhone. And there are so many cool options nowadays for just how you can find your wellness, how you can rest and relax. So make sure you do that. I'm taking this exercise right out of one of my trainings that I'm doing with my Enneagram and Marriage class. And that is a class that has been geared for 5 sessions going through my book. And we go through forgiveness practices and we go through how to attune together. And this is our relaxation or self-soothing practice. So get comfortable, get a blanket if you need, and take some time with your body to settle it and get in a comfortable position now so that your neck isn't strained. Okay, now I want you to set your feet down in a grounded way. I want you to set your feet down in a way that will help you to feel settled and stabilized. Take a nice deep breath or let a sigh out. And I also want you to get in a comfortable enough position so that your neck isn't strained. And if you need to shout out to Alexa to change your temperature, or run and pause me and go do that, or get that blanket or that cup of water just to have all of your resources near you, go right ahead and do that. Now I want you to allow your back to become grounded into whatever's behind you. So I have mine against a pillow right behind me if you're watching on Zoom. But otherwise, you might even want to lean all the way back and allow your spine to lean right up against firmly against the chair you're in. And now allow your eyes to just gently close and allow your breathing to become regular. When we're feeling dysregulated in our emotions, it's so important to find these safe tokens and totems. It's so important that we allow ourselves to rest and relax for a little bit, just to find our heart rate going back down under 100 beats a minute. It can tend to rise up and ride up. Now, I want you to allow for a breathing pattern to really settle in. You might have been up and down as you were preparing or shifting around. And now I want you, like I said, to keep your eyes gently closed for a little while and begin this breathing pattern of breathing 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. And I'll count a few rhythms of 4 seconds for you. And you can join in wherever you're at. And you might even want to include in a pause of 4 seconds. Some of you might want to think of it as the square breathing exercise, where you either trace on your thigh the shape of a square while you do it, or in the air, or you just imagine that in your mind. At any rate, breathe deeply, and on the exhale, allow yourself to either sigh or to actively push out your breath, depending on your desire and energy level. Okay, so I'll count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in order to engage your senses on a different level, if you'd like, you can pause and take a drink of water if it's next to you or whatever beverage you have. You might even need to shake and get up for a minute if you're in that seven space, but allow yourself to just feel the refreshment and the taste and the texture. And now we're going to allow you that chance to really notice what's happening inside your body as you continue to breathe deeply. Starting from the top of your head and moving your way down your body, I want you to notice any areas of tension and then tighten them for a few seconds and release. You might tighten your eyes for a few seconds and release. You might tighten your jaw for a few seconds and release. Some of you clench. Sometimes for me, I end up really noticing my shoulders rise up. I notice that in Pure Barre, they say that to us a lot. Let those shoulders fall back down. You might even gently tap each one and allow yourself to tense and release. Continue taking the deep breaths and move your way down your body and allow the relaxation to settle in. And I want you to also notice anything that needs that little touch. Now, I want you to allow yourself to focus in on an area of life that really pleases you. Sometimes when we're emotionally dysregulated, we're focused in on the negative, and I know that's important. I don't want you to ride yourself for that right now because, quite honestly, that's survival too sometimes. But right now, this is a safe moment for you to regulate. So I want you to allow yourself permission to think on someone you love or something you love. Maybe it's a peaceful setting or a person who makes you feel safe from your current life or your past. And I want you to allow in the sensory experiences too. Maybe you think of children's laughter. This is a space you might also allow in a spiritual experience too. You might experience God. You might say, oh, I just feel Christ with me. You might, like Amy Wicks from this Monday's episode, really notice that you feel like you're just really in Jesus's lap. If you're not a person of faith, that's okay too. This is a time for you, and there's no guilt for where you're at. I want you to allow yourself to sink into the details of the visual scene that just helps you to relax and calm yourself. Allow yourself another deep breath if you've become at all dysregulated, and allow yourself the warmth of feeling peaceful and known and loved in this place because you are. Think of textures, colors, lights, shadows, sounds, perhaps laughter, as I'm thinking of my nieces and nephews with their sweetness, gentle breeze. Allow yourself to be given a butterfly hug. Wrap both your arms around yourself and sigh, allowing yourself to feel the warmth of connection and restful rhythms. And before coming back to presence into your life and what's happening and what you need to do next, think on 5 things you're grateful for. We often spend time in lament when we're trying to emotionally regulate, and that agility also comes when we allow ourselves to come into the gratitude of what we do have. So allow yourself to think on 5 things, and you might even pause after this to narrate for yourself on paper 5 to 8 things. I'm going there with research, and that helps. Now allow yourself to linger here for a moment in the gratitude of what you have. Allow yourself to make a plan of doing something good when you're ready to emerge. I love it. I love doing this exercise with you. When you're ready, come back to your life, take one big, final, deepest breath of the day, And take these active steps to engage your life and your people. And I know I'm going to do that very thing. I can hear my son, who has composed a little bit of This Is Us on the piano for me. And I am laughing because I am in my era with that. And he is in his Percy Jackson era. And together we are quite a pair of thinking types. But I hope that you bring this into your family, into your marriage, into your relationships if you're not married. Either way, I hope that you allow some emotionally agile new behaviors into your life now, just with this practice in your back pocket. It only takes about 5 minutes to walk yourself through it. Feel free to join any of my classes in the show notes because I want to meet you there. If you want to meet with somebody to walk through, if you want to have an even better, greater, deeper sense for how to do that, I am here for you. And I am looking forward to more fun with you. Make sure you leave a review on Apple Podcasts so more people can find it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.